Okay, good afternoon, ladies and gents. I hope everyone is well. It is the 16th of February, and this is the S&P 500 futures market chart, the S&P 500, the 2000 tick chart. Just quickly, just for your information, this stream is just purely for entertainment purposes and purely my take on the market. It's not intended to be any form of financial advice or sort of any type of I don't want you copying my charts or copying my trade. Sorry, I should have thought about that a little bit clearer before I opened my mouth, shouldn't I? But yeah, basically for entertainment purposes. I don't want you copying me because if I make a cock up, you make a cock up. So hope everyone's well anyway. So who we got in this morning or this afternoon? Morning, Sam. How you doing? Good afternoon, lads. Fellow traders. How you doing, what? Hope everyone is raring to go. We had some news earlier on. Excuse me. And we had quite a bit of a drop there. Let's have a look. Where did it finish up start about? I think it was a spike up. I mean, we were coming down anyway, but so far this morning we've come down a little over touch over 60 points. So I've just had to go out and I've just come back. Sorry. I was watching this a little bit earlier, but I had to pop out and pick my daughter up for 2 o'clock today. So otherwise I was hoping we were going to do this at some point. But now I've seen it. Now I've seen it. I think there's sort of 2 legs up. I just don't like that bar. I prefer it tick a little bit higher than that. But that was certainly the way down. But it wasn't a great setup, and it did go a little touch sideways. So I think I'd have probably left that anyway. So I don't think I missed anything. You'll just see a little £1 or $1.25 or minus 13-cent profit there. Because I've got 2 accounts, I just for the last couple of days I've just had to do a micro, and I did a micro on the wrong account initially, so I've done it on the right one, so that's why that's showing there. You might wonder why on earth did I take a trade for $1.25? So that's why. Leading loser, how you doing? So, news is come and gone, not massive. I mean, we were coming down before that happened, and then we had a quick spike. Well, nothing really seemed to change too much. We're coming down anyway, quick spike, coming down again. So, here we are. That's the trouble when you got such a big... Let's open that up so we don't miss that, just in case we have some form of a range there. It doesn't look like we will. We may get quite a bit of downward movement today. We've had quite a steep drop initially, so whether we'll correct a bit and maybe come down some more, who knows? In fact, it's probably a bit too early this anyway, but maybe we'll do something like that. It's hard to say, too early at the moment anyway, so... So, Speedy Boy, how you doing, my friend? Dylan, how you doing, Dylan? Your bars look different than mine. Okay, let me see what I can do there. I can probably improve them a tiny touch. Let's reload all historical data. They often do look a bit different. I wouldn't worry about that too much. I've just reloaded my historical data. That might change them slightly. But sometimes they do. You know, if I've watched other streamers in the past, is that any better? Sometimes if I've watched some streamers in the past, that looks a bit different because that red bar. And in fact, let's have a look at that one push up. Maybe I would have taken. I don't know. It's quite a small risk anyway, isn't it? That one, but I wasn't here anyway. So let's have a look. No, it's not that small. 12, 2.25 points, so that's not too bad. Does that look any better, Dylan, does it? You often will find that they are different. All you really need to do is just trade what you see. If it looks okay, yeah, it looks the same now, good. Often they will look different. I mean, I've seen some people's charts, and it's almost like a different chart, but going in the right direction. So yeah, it often does sometimes. But just trade it how you see it. If it looks right to you, then take your trade. If it doesn't, then leave it alone. Because some trades you'll take because they look better, and some trades I'll take because they look better. So it's just the way it is, really. I'm assuming it's something to do with the time it takes the data to get from the exchange to my PC. Obviously, depending on my where I am in the world, and obviously the internet speed. I'm assuming it's common sense tells me it's that. I might be completely wrong, but I'm guessing it's something like that. So just trade it how you see it. Oh, that's a weird little thing, isn't it? Sideways and looks a bit better if I, yeah. That's the trouble, isn't it, when you got half the chart above you? ATR is quite high at the moment, so hopefully that will come down a little bit on those bars. In fact, most of the bigger bars are up here anyway. Things are slowing down a little bit now. So we have had a break of this, a couple of legs up, and we've had a new low. So that has played out, but it's so bearish that I'm quite likely think it was maybe going to correct a little bit and then maybe pop up a bit and then go down some more. Possibly it might pull back to a degree, but things just seem quite a downward so far. Did you have a trade on it? No. I went for a dollar trade. No, what it was is I've got two accounts. I've got one that's passed the evaluation, and I just go on and do a micro, but I actually did a micro. I think it was early hours of the morning, late last night, when the markets reopened, just so I didn't forget today, and I actually did a trade on the wrong one. Fortunately, it's only a micro, one tick, that's why it looks like I've got some profit, but that's why that is. I did mention it, but you probably figured that out, didn't you? I think something. Grandpa Roger, how you doing? How you doing, my friend? I'm guessing you're similar age to me, are you? I'm 53. I've got a stepson, a couple of kids, so technically I'm a granddad, but I don't brag about it just yet. Okay, we didn't even get anywhere near this, and we've come down some more. So let's see what happens here. I'm just with the way that came down, I'll be surprised if there isn't some more. See, I don't know what everyone else is doing. I know cryptos have been booming. I've got a little bit of Bitcoin. I think Bitcoin's went up about 11% yesterday, which is quite unusual for Bitcoin. And I think a lot of the altcoins are up as well. Yeah, it went up from, what was it, about 21, late 21s to I think it touched on 25,000. And it's currently up 7.5% over the last 24 hours. And I've got a few others as well, and everything's up at the moment. Bitcoin's up 7.5%, ETH's up 6.5%, BNB's 5.5%, Matic 7%. Everything's up. So it's weird how, you know, some forms of some kinds of investment are up, but others aren't. But who knows? Who knows? Okay, down some more. Well, this just could be a couple of legs. It's hard to say. I certainly don't really want to go long at the moment because of, let's have a look at that. It's not far off. Two legs by the look of things. It's just hard to say at the moment. We may correct, and this may turn into a big... Are you 72? Oh, you're a bit older than me. Then I'm still a baby. 53, oh, you're 19 years older than me. That makes me feel better. I don't feel so old all of a sudden. 17 grandkids are good for you. Crikey. No wonder you need to trade. You need to earn a fortune, don't you, just to cover Christmas, I think. Good for you. Nice age, 72. Good age that was. Good for you. Never too late to learn to trade. Absolutely not. Never too late. Helps stimulate the neurons, doesn't it? Not sure whether that's going to do that, but good for you, mate. Good for you. What's going on here? 17 grandkids. Wow. That must be one expensive Christmas and birthdays. Wow. I'll call you Roger from now. You won't feel so old then. Oh. So whether this turns into something along the lines of that, who knows? But it's certainly bearish at the moment. No arguments there. Okay. That is yesterday's low, I think, near enough. Sometimes that acts as a turning point or a stalling point. Yeah, it's certainly looking bearish. So we had some news. I'm assuming it wasn't fantastic news. Core PPI. I'm just trying to think what that is again. Someone else might be able to enlighten me. Whatever it wasn't good, or it certainly didn't help. I mean, we had come down before that. There's sort of a couple of legs down there, and then we had that drop. So I think it was sort of on its way down anyway. Haven't had a look at the daily. Let me just drag this out of the way. Sorry, excuse me a minute. Mouse has got caught off. I just want to look at the daily. See if that's giving us anything. Big drop down. Big drop down. Okay. Yeah, see, I'm just going to bring it in quickly. We've had this big overall downtrend since the sort of beginning of last year, and then obviously January we started pushing up, so let's just push up that. So we have had we come down from here, we've had a good old push up, but we've seemed to have gone flat and a little bit down, but we've just had obviously there's that big almighty drop. So who knows? One leg, two leg. You just don't know at the moment. It's not looking good at the moment. It's looking better. Obviously, it doesn't make a difference to us. But yeah, we've had this. There's sort of a couple of legs up there, if you like, two legs, and maybe a bit of sideways. So who knows? Let's get rid of that. So it's a bit unpredictable at the moment. We may pull back up. We may continue down. It's just so hard to say at the moment. I'm guessing that's probably going to come down from there. So I'm guessing it might fit in with that. So whether it is that or not, I don't know. But we've gone from these sort of. Let me just neaten that up a bit. We've gone from these sort of first couple of swings, really, and it sort of fits, doesn't it, down here? So whether we're going to continue down. I don't know. I'm going to get rid of that because it's a little too early to start thinking about bigger trends. But if we come down here, then it sort of makes sense. But the way things are looking, strong down, some sideways. There's sort of a little bit of congestion, a push down, a bit more congestion. So we may come up, retest, and drop down some more. So it's a bit early at the moment. This is just guessing, really. Educated guess, if you like. Key to watch is 4099. Down here, yeah. It is looking very bearish, isn't it? Oh. Okay. Couple of legs down. I mean, this could really go down over the day, couldn't it? It really could. In fact, I'm going to pop that back in a minute, just in case it does follow it a couple of times. So let's go, say, with that one, I think. That's the first swing, so say something like that. Just for now, in case it comes up and retested a few times, but we've taken it from that first swing, and that's hit it, that's hit it, that's hit it, that's hit it, and obviously here comfortably has. So it's still a bit early, so we've got to be careful, but let's get the midline in, see if that helps us. We've come up to the midline a few times. And that doesn't really play a part at the moment, so it might be a bit early for this, to be honest with you. See what happens here. I mean, if it turns here and goes down some more, then maybe what I want to be careful of doing is if we have a break, think about a retest, because it might not be this downtrend. It may be more of just a bit of a breakout and retest this, so I don't want to just assume we're going down. That's the trouble when you add these bigger trends in. They can change your bias. In fact, let's get rid of it. A bit too early just yet. Call that a bit of a break. It's touch there. It's just a bit risky, I think, at the moment. That to me, if I straighten that up a bit, I straighten that up there to follow them. Yeah, that's clearly a break. Break, new high. Yeah, if you'd have gone short there, so you're going to get stopped out here, I'd say. Well, you may be lucky. You could possibly short this. It's just a little bit congested for me. People are trying to pick bottoms. There may be some longs trap there, but it's going congested to me, so I think it's a bit dangerous. I'll be concerned if I was in that trade about now, because it may act as a double trap. It may stop them out, come back down, and stop out them. So. So there's a first entry. We've made this new high. I prefer to push down, pull back again, and have a failure, because it is looking bearish and we've had a correction, but we have dropped down. We pull back strong. So if we can get a
order submitted,
so new high, we try to go once. If we can push through here and then get a, I'll go low there. I don't mind going short on here because it's such a strong move down. See if we can get a. Okay, if we can pull up here. I am aware there's not a fixed bottom here. I wouldn't exactly call an area like this congestion where it might slow down. It's two separate bottoms, and I think things are bearish. I don't think it's going to come down enough, is it? Could do with a pullback there to break above there before we can take that failure. Let's just check. There's nothing here that may. Not really. Okay. That's a second entry long. I am going to, sorry, let me just get rid of that.
order cancelled,
I'm going to put a sell order down
submitted,
here just in case. I'll get one ready just in case. That's one leg down. We've had a break. It might not come down. No. I thought we might have a break and then another leg down. I am expecting down, see. Try to go once. So it's technically a failure, but that was a second entry long as well. I wouldn't have gone long there personally. One leg. It could be two legs down here. Let's have a little look. Maybe not. Let's get rid of that.
order cancelled,
Maybe let's put that about like that. Let's leave it there a minute. I think that's a safer bet. I don't want to. If we can get a second entry short off here, that'll interest me. Or a lower high. Might be a couple of legs. Let me get rid of it. Let's say down the bottom for argument's sake. Maybe some longs trapped there.
Order submitted.
Nah, I don't like that bar.
Order
It's too big.
cancelled.
It's a bit congested. It's 18 ticks. I think it's likely going to come down. If it comes down here and stops them out, let's see if it triggers it.
Order
Take it on a
submitted.
limit order. I think if it does come down any further, there may seem to be going up here. Second entry long. There may be some longs trapped there. So if it can come down here, it might move.
Order
but
cancelled.
It's getting congested. I don't think that's any way. It's possible, but it's too early to think about that. Yeah, possible second entry short there, but it's just congested in. It's right in the middle of this range. Just anything's risky, really. I'm certainly thinking bearish at the moment. I personally think this is a bit of a correction. Let's get that back in and see if that helps us at all. Okay. No. I think it just might be 2 legs down. Too early at the moment. Let's get back in a bit. See, there's a possible second entry short. If this can come up here and end up bearish. Oh, no, it's not now. Let's see if there's a couple of legs here. See if this pops out the top. There may be some longs in there. That's a second, well, slightly by a tick. Second entry longs. There may be some longs in there. Thinking about catching this bottom, I think. Sort of looks like it's going up as a bit. So if it would break down below there. Just trying to think who might be picking bottoms. See that? Push up, break, new high. We haven't had a new low here yet, see? But there's going to be second entry, lower high, or sorry, higher low. I'd say there's likely going to be some longs in there somewhere. So if we can get a setup to go here, I'd say we're going to come down the bottom. It's looking down the bottom to me. I think if we can get past those, but there's just no setup, I think. If that can stall and push up a bit higher and then come back down, I don't mind taking it down the bottom there. But I'm pretty sure when we get below here, and or possibly here, there'll be some longs trapped in there. So Let's put a little line just to see. The stops may be there, they may be there, it's hard to say. I kind of like this to go long, to go short. Maybe some longs there again. Let's get a seller.
Order submitted.
I don't think that that channel is, but I'm aware it is aiming upwards.
Order cancelled.
Let's get rid of that. Bars are big as well at the moment. Don't want to get anywhere near something that big, really. At the moment, things are slowly moving up, so I'm not even thinking about going short. I'm not even thinking about doing anything at the moment. Especially with an 18 tick bar, tick above, tick below, 20 ticks in that. 5 points, that's too much of a risk, that is, for the way things are going at the moment. Just can't trade this. Way too dangerous. What I will say, though, is there's probably going to be some longs in there, possibly some longs in there. I think there's going to be a lot more longs in there than shorts. Possibly some shorts in there, which, oh, it has been triggered, so there may be some shorts there. And I think if we come down below here, it'll eat up all them long positions. And then I think we'll maybe either push down to the bottom or push below the bottom. So let's put these two. If we get that below here, then I think we're going to come to the bottom or possibly lower. But it's just that's what I'd say is going to happen from what I can see. But it's not going to get me into a trade. But I just can't see apart from here. If you're in a short position there, you'd have been eaten up. Unless you'd have put your stop above here. But I'd say if we get down below this line, then I'd say the longs in there are going to get eaten up. To look like a good day to read a book. Yes, it is, mate. Yes, it is. I think we'll start moving down in a minute once we get below here. Below here and here, then I think it'll tank. Mate, when I say that might be a slight exaggeration, but I think we'll certainly come down to the bottom here, possibly lower, This to me is just a correction, and I think we've got more of the low stuff to come. So once that gets below here, I did think about that, but it is still choppy, and I did say to myself, I've got to stay away from stuff like that because although I'm pretty sure I think I know what it's going to do, not enough to take a risk on it because I'm trying not to be a gambler and trying to be more of a strategist. Because that's the trouble when it's sideways like this. You just never know the odds. We all, we've got a good idea of what the market's doing, but you just never know. Things can change around so quick. Yeah, say if you'd have got in there or there, both of those got stopped out. If you'd have thought there, yeah, it just goes to show, say, once we get down below here and then here, we may start getting some offerings there. I think the market will move then. Because after that big move, there will be some longs down here trying to pick bottoms. With this being here, I think there'll be some there for sure, possibly here as well. So once we get below here, I think we'll move down the bottom then. Gemma. Hello, Gemma. Where are you from, Gemma? Gemma Lockwood. Lockwood. Where do I know Lockwood from? I spent 6 months trading with Andrew Lockwood. He's a currencies trader on the outskirts of London. Lockwood. Are you UK or where are you? Where are you from? Where are you from, Gemma? I'm pretty sure you're a female. Where are you from, Gemma? I was feeling frisky with that one. Got 3.5 points. Yeah. Naked Mongolian. Yeah, there is trapped bud. Yeah, that's the trouble with these. Hi, South Yorkshire. I thought as much. Gemma Lockwood. Yeah. Oh, good. It's nice to get some more UK people in. I think you're the only UK lady, I think. Wow. We'll have to send you a special prize or something. Yeah, there's a few from the UK here, maybe six or seven of us, something like that, I think. A couple from Scotland, a couple from in and around London. I think Worcester, not Worcester, Bromsgrove. Someone from Bromsgrove. Oh, good. South Yorkshire, yeah, I got you. South Yorkshire. I spent a bit of time in North Yorkshire many years ago. Catterick. Beautiful place, Yorkshire. Yeah, if you like the outdoors and you like your countryside, stunning place, Yorkshire. Yeah. Okay, once we get below here, I think we're golden then. Can I still get the Trump card as an investment for President's Day? Okay, I think we're going down now. There we go. There's some of them. And here come the rest of them. Here we come. Down we come. Yeah, down here. I was pretty sure that'd eat some up, and it did. So you don't know whether a lot of them, I suppose, they just pick here or somewhere down here, do they? I thought that'd push a bit more. I knew that one there'd be some in there. I think once we get down here, once we get here, we're going to drop out the bottom. I think I wouldn't be surprised if we have another slight half decent, not quite as big as that, but another good move down. I think. One leg, two legs. I think once we get below here, I think we'll have quite a drop. Flush out some of these longs. Don't want that to be there. Any way we can get rid of that. Sort of looks like a bit of a break, actually, doesn't it? Might actually be, if I tighten that up, it might be a slight break in it, slight overshoot in that. It's hard to say at the moment. There may be some more longs in there. So tempted to short this if it comes down. It's such a big candle, isn't it? Could say this is a break. This is sort of a channel, although it looks a bit messy. The bottom arse end, the arm, the bottom side looks a bit better. If we can get two pushes up, maybe to here in a bearish bar, then I'm interested there. Let me just zoom in there a bit. One push up, two push up. Could say this is a break. I mean, even if it's just so hard at the moment. I mean, it could be a little overshoot and followed by another little one. I don't know, but I prefer that to be above there to interest me going short. But I think we're going to come down sharpish personally. Just the way the market's acting after that big push down, the correction, and then slowly. But I could be wrong. It's getting congested. I'd want that to finish nice and bearish, but it is a big, big old bar. It is second entry short.
Order submitted.
It's not going to, is it? One push up, two pushes up. No, I'm going to leave this. I think this
Order cancelled.
Choppy. It's okay to think what the market's doing, but obviously you've got to act on what it's doing, not what you think it's doing. Yeah, so that looks like a range to me. Sorry, channel to me, but obviously have that strong push up there. I do think we're coming down further. It needed to get below here or below here, I think, to do it. So it may, I don't know, might sideways a bit longer. Yeah, I think what happened is there were some shorts there. I think that's when that broke over there and shot up high. It probably hit some of those. It does look like it's going downwards, wasn't it? But obviously it was just a lower high. It wasn't a second entry or anything, was it? So there was probably some thinking we're going lower and may have held on and stopped here. And once that's it, may have slowly eaten through some of them. Definitely ranging. Let me just see if I can make this fit a bit better. Just thinking about a second entry long off here from this. It's just going a bit sideways, isn't it? See what happens here. First entry. Get down here, but not as low as here. Okay, I'm going to have the chance. Yeah, well, that blew my theory, didn't it? Well, I mean, it's early days yet. It could go down some more, but just the way that was starting to go, I thought it'd be eating up some stuff there, but yeah. Just wondering, actually. Touches here. Fits beautiful, fits beautiful. It's a little, almost a bit of a break, but I'm not convinced it is. I'll leave it there just to be a... Yeah. Hey, Zalonte, I didn't see you there. How are you? The naked Mongolian, I think we said hello to you, didn't we? So hello to everybody else. Ahmed, how you doing? Sorry, I've been focusing. What else we got in? I think we said hello. SW Blaze, how you doing? I think we said hello to everybody else. I think there's a lot of people sat in the background, nice and quiet, just observing, enjoying the peace and quiet. Okay, I'm not convinced that's a break, so let's just open that up. Tiny touch. Okay, I'm alright with that. Okay, I wasn't expecting that. Yeah, I think it's more likely we're going to go low. You just don't know, though, do you? After a big, strong move like that, you can't continue down like that. It's just too steep. It's got to feather out, and it's got to before it interests some more longs in there. Yes, it's possible. It could do something like that. We'll soon find out now if it tanks. It's just too early to do something like that, though. It does fit on the tops, but it doesn't necessarily mean a lot. If it drops from here, then obviously maybe we'll drag it back in. In fact, that didn't fit quite tight. This probably needed to go slightly higher more here. So if you get a 2 legs down here, then I may continue just riding it to the tops there. But that's only 1 leg at the moment. We've got a new long here. It's only first entry at the moment. I'd want a couple of pushes first before I think about going long. Trouble is, it just might come back into here, so you don't know. That's the trouble with these. It seems to fit all right, but there is a possibility there could have been a bit of a break there. Depends how you draw this. And that's the trouble, really. It's easy to go long here. It'll tick above and tank because you're just riding back into the range. So you've got to be sort of careful here, really. I'd want 2 clear legs down and maybe even a higher low just to take out the possibilities of a failure, so I'm going to get trapped. But it doesn't necessarily make a new high, see, on a range day, because more people are probably just fading the range, and judging by the way that's coming in, I'd say it's more likely that there was that. It doesn't really matter anyway, to be fair. It's by the by now. May still go higher, but who knows? It's too risky, I think. Just on 1 leg. Yeah. Trouble is, you take a long year, you get trapped, comes down, stops you out. Yeah, I bet after that, see, there'll be a lot of people going along there, and it might go up. But it's when you have one push down, it just makes it a lot more risky that it goes up and then comes down and stops you out. Trust me, the risky ones work when you don't take them. As soon as you take them, they just turn on you. See, that might now bounce off the top of this and come back down. See, it might be one leg down, two legs down. It's just so hard, really. It just makes it more risky. There was only one push down anyway, really. Too easy to get trapped there and go long. Always works when you don't do it. As soon as you get involved, it tick goes up a couple of ticks, comes down and stops you out, and then makes two legs down. There's not quite. I think it's an equal high, I think. Yeah, it's only one leg down anyway, really. I mean, after it's been a range, at the moment, you've really got to treat it like a range, haven't you? And just fade it in and not think about going along. Because it's 50-50, really, whether it does that. Some traders are thinking it's going to, so they may jump in there, which means there'll be less short. So it's just risky, really. Because at the moment, up until we've had this break and come back in, all we've done really since about 2 o'clock UK time for the last hour and a half is just go sideways. So every time it's come off, it's come back. So we might get a push up. It's just so hard to say, really. There's little bits of congestion up here, but not a lot. There's some around here, so that may be a factor where it slows things down. Maybe somewhere like there may act as a bit of resistance. Sometimes there's no rhyme or reason why these things do what they do. There's a little bit of sideways here and here, so that might stall it a little bit. But the biggest resistance is here. So I don't even think you get two legs out of that. Possibly. Sorry about that. Yeah, there is a little bit of resistance here. Around sort of that area. So what do you think of it so far, Gemma? Are you still here, or have you died of boredom? I do get days where I don't shut up. I've been quite quiet the last couple of days. I've been quite quiet and quite calm. She's going. She's going. She's probably asleep. Gemma, wake up. There you are. There you are. Still there. Good for you. Hell. It is hell, isn't it? This is traded, isn't it? This is the best bit. Okay, possible second entry long here. I'd like to think we were still going up a bit, but you just don't know, do you? One leg, two leg. I'd like to think we were going up here. Let's see if we can get a nice... even if you don't say two legs, just say one leg and another leg. Let's see if we can get something up here. Let's get a limit order.
Order submitted.
Ballsy. It is a second entry long if it is one. One push up. Yeah, one push up. Two legs back, another push up. I'd say we're coming up here. Let's see what happens here. How's it gone? Come back. Come on. What's that? 7, 8, 9. 2.5 points. Come back a bit. Come back a bit. Bugger, bugger, bugger.
Order cancelled.
Maybe I got lucky. Oh. Maybe I did get lucky. What would I got out of that? Not a lot. I wouldn't have gone out there. Oof, that's looking bearish all of a sudden, isn't it? Wow, look at that. This might be that big push down we've all been thinking about. Look. Wow, look at that. Got lucky there. What was that? 17.8, 2.5 points. So I went for the top, didn't I? So it'd been 2 3/4 points. You might be lucky there. Looks like it's going to stop that out. Oh yeah, see, sometimes luck's on your side. Sometimes you just get lucky. Quite a big old bar, that is. Yeah, it's 4 1/4. 4 3/4. Quite a chunky old bar, that. I wouldn't have gone short there anyway. Above there, it's just, I'm just going to keep watching for a minute. I think it's getting a bit risky. It might go up for no, it might do. Got lucky there. If that breaks above there, I'd say there'll be a strong push. I'd say there's quite going to be a lot of shorts in there, because that was a failure, although it wasn't the best place, in my opinion. But if that breaks above there, that leads up some short stops. I think we're still going to get a couple of legs from what I'm seeing here. If we can get a higher low before it hits there, I think if it hits there, it'll have a good push up. Oh, it's ticked through it. They may have put their stops. It's just hard to say. I don't know. I'm just clutching at straws a bit now. It's looking a bit sideways, but I think we're going to push up quickly if we can eat through some of this. I'd say there's probably going to be stops here. If it pushes high enough. Might be 2 legs. Here, I'd say. Not quite as dramatic as I thought. It definitely got through some stops. 2 legs. But there is a bit of congestion somewhere around this middle here. Some resistance, I think. I'm not convinced. Maybe it doesn't look that bad. Yes, it's possible. It's possible that. See how that fits. Oh, that's better. Let me just remove these a minute. Starts there, touches here beautifully, touches there. Maybe a break and a new high. Touches perfectly. It fits lovely at the top. So that maybe it's a break. It's not a massively convincing break, but it's a break nonetheless. So it might be a break and a new high, and I'm guessing it's going to struggle here because there is some resistance here where we've found support coming down, then we've broken through it and come up and sort of touched the top of it a couple of times. So this may be where it turns. It might be a break and a new high. Technically, it's played out if that's the case. 2 legs back. One leg. There we go. It's a little bit longer. And that one is there. Okay, so that to me now is, yeah, 1 leg, 2 leg. With probable break, 1 leg, 2 leg. No setup anyway, and a probable break. So that might be the high. And it might come down. It's a bit early to say yet. But let's get in. But that looks quite nice there. Fits nice there. Closes there. And the next one goes up to above it. So it does fit right for the center of those two. And it fits nice along the top edge. So that looks like as good as a channel to me. And that looks like a break. Possible second entry short. There may have been some. Right, like I said, there may have been some shorts there. May have. But I think it's going to struggle a bit here. I want to see it break below here. Ooh, there she goes. Okay. Let's see what happens here, because that could be a break and 2 legs. If it keeps on going, then I'll widen that channel a bit. But I wasn't expecting that. I was convinced we were coming down. Just goes to show you. See if this ticks here and comes back. So that was the bottom I marked to that that support. But it may get stuck around here. Ironically enough, that's where these 2 legs would have come to. So see what happens here. See if it continues up. And then I'm thinking, I might think long then. I like the channel. I just want convincing that that's a break first. If it continues up, then I'll open that up a touch. I just like the way it fits at the back nice as well, and it fits here, and it just touched that one before it came up, touched it again, dropped below it, and the line sort of goes right through the middle, so I'm convinced that's part of this channel, that, and here. So see what happens here. See, I don't mind days like this. The last, I mean, yesterday I had 2 trades relatively early, 2 really nice setups, and you're not always going to get days like that. So I'm quite, sometimes I'm quite happy if things don't go right. You can only take what the market gives you, and I'm just trying to avoid forcing stuff because I've done it. In all fairness, really, where did I go long here? Somewhere I went to go long, didn't I? Somewhere. I can't remember where it was now. Was it here? I think it was was it? I can't remember. Luckily I got, because it was pushing it, I think, a little bit. It wasn't one of those good setups. You got 16 points, did you? Where did you go? Down here, did you? So you went down here. Did you go here? Yeah, you must have went down there. See, it's all right. It's that bit I'd have struggled to sit through. Yeah, that bit I'd have been all right with. As soon as it comes down here, well, I'd be bricking it. It's just the one push down did it for me. See, sometimes they'll work, sometimes they won't. But fortunately, you had a nice run out of that. Yeah, I think you came out of the right place. You just don't know, do you? There's definitely some congestion around here, but the trouble is it just could keep going higher. Sometimes when you think these things can't go any higher, but look, we're only 50%. See, I don't use this much on what's it. Let's have a look at this fib tool. Where was the eye? Here. So where do we come down to here? So that, not quite 50%, is it? See if it does go higher. I don't use this. I have used it in the past, trading currency, but not. How do you get rid of the damn thing now? No. Yeah, it could go higher. That's what I mean. You just don't know. Sometimes you're thinking, bearish, correction down again, but you just don't know. It might come sideways, it might come a bit and then tack. You just don't know. It's just, it's not clear, is it? At the moment, we're going up. That's clear. That's the only thing that is clear at the moment. So, okay, so we went up. So we had one push. So we 2 clear pushes up there. So that was a measured move. So 1 push up, 2 push up. So maybe we're going to go higher. See, maybe I can open this up. We'll see if it continues to go higher. That doesn't fit too bad, does it? The only missing really of the puzzle is the ability to close that up really, so it fits nice there and there, and a bit of an overshoot, and that fits better at the top. That's the bit I mean, perhaps it is an overshoot. Perhaps we're having a couple of legs, but let's try and find some common ground. That doesn't work too bad. See what happens here. I think market's got other ideas. So you might recover that big, might trace the move. Yeah, it might do. You never know. To be honest with you, though, it was on its way down there when that happened. Where was it? Here, wasn't it? So it spiked here around. Let's bring that round. Let's bring that over because it was around the middle line. So it's just a bit above the middle line, wasn't it? Let's tell you what. Let's put a little marker there so we know it was around about there. So let's call it there. So it's just above the midline. So let's make that a nice pretty colour. Something, maybe a pink or something. Let's have a look. Something pretty. There we go. One of them. Well, it's not very bright, is it? Okay, so it may come back. It often does that, doesn't it? But it was quite on its way sharpish, but it will do that a lot of times. It does make you wonder, doesn't it? We have bad news, market will tank, and then what happens? It goes back up. It makes you think, well, what's the point? Well, why sell? You might as well save yourself the stress. But obviously they're making money, aren't they, traders? But yeah, it may come back. It may trace 50% of that. 50% retracement before it goes down again, and it may end up being something like this. You know, over. You just don't know, do you? It's all guesswork, that is. Oh, I just moved. I don't know what moved. Right. Drop below here, and I'll take that going long. At the moment, things are... I need it to come here, though. At the moment, things are bullish for me. There's no argument about that. But I want that to drop down below here before I think about taking that long. That's 2 legs down.
Order
Let's see if we get a
submitted.
bullish bar here, and I'll take that. Might rock it up, though. No, not good enough. That's a shame, because I like that. 2 legs down. Right on top of that congestion. Right on top of that little bit of sideways there. I think that's going up.
Order
I just
cancelled.
can't. There's just no setup, is there? Shame it's close to a doji as much as we think it's going up. See, that's where I think that Nate would have a risk there, because he'd base a lot of his trades on the legs. So we're clearly bullish at the moment. 2 clear legs back. He'd jump in there somewhere and ride that up here, and I'd say it's pretty much likely it's going to go. Just no setup. It's as good as a doji for us, isn't it? If you were risky, you might have thought. I certainly think we're going to make a new high. I think that the gorilla guy would have seen these 2 legs and just jumped in here. He would have done. He'd have jumped in around about the middle, I'd say. Let's say fair. So what? What does he take? No less than 6 points, does he? Let's see if he gets his money. Maybe a few shorts there. It's a bit of a doji to me, but it might look different on someone else's chart. But I'd say he's going to get his 6 points. Or it could be a triple test. Come down. It's hard to say at the moment. See if Gorilla Boy gets his 6. Sorry about that. What did I just say there? DV. I was in the gorilla ring for 2 months. He wasn't making money during the live stream. Strange that. Odd, isn't it? The trouble is, obviously he posts his videos out, but if you're going to post your videos and advertise your system, you're not going to post losses, are you? So he did do a week's trial on one of his videos. I clicked on the link. I thought I might have it up here, but then I got an email back saying the trial had finished, so we had to pay. I don't know. Trouble is, it's easy to make someone think you're making money, isn't it, by posting out a video with your wins on, but it's hard to say, isn't it? Mysteriously pulls up winners after the room is closed. Yeah, I mean, I've done that myself a couple of times, but I don't charge anything, so I'm not, I'm not trying to get people to watch me and make money out of them, you know what I mean? But he does only trade for 6, doesn't he? He does only trade for an hour and a half, doesn't he? So, and if you're paying $100, you want to be seen winning trades, don't you? I will say on some of his videos, like he posted one the other day, and he picked 2 bottoms. He picked one about here and lost it, and another one down here and lost it. But then he took a 9 points up here, so he ended up 3 points up. But I don't know. He comes over as a nice guy. Just thinking if that is a bit of a spiking channel, maybe that might, because it is. Let's see if that makes any more sense. Kinda. Kind of. Upside, maybe. So look. As long as I'm not changing it so we've made a break and I haven't noticed, that seems to fit okay, doesn't it? In fact, it might come down to there. Let's say that one there. Well, it looks even worse, doesn't it? Let's say that's a spike in a channel. I don't know. Maybe. I'll leave it there. You can finicky around with these things all day. Are you sure he's in a sim, you reckon? Because you can see his dollar signs here, can't you? But you can do that on a sim, can't you? I don't understand what would make someone do that, though. That's the thing. If he's, I don't know, maybe he is, but it's not rocket science, this. It's not difficult to do in the sense of the job itself. The difficult part is the psychological side. If you can master the psychological side, you'll do well at it. So, I don't know. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. I mean, he's obviously making money from the charges, but I've done this enough to know you can make money. So, I don't know. He sells his trading room, yeah, $100 a month in it. Be interested in how many he's got. See, there's a failed second entry short there. It's a bit too far away from the. I prefer a second entry long, to be honest with you, because I've got a feeling that's going to get stopped out. It's a bit too far away from. They might not, but it's a bit too far away from the EMA for me. What was I going to say? I wouldn't have I don't think I could charge people, and I'll tell you why. Well, I know I couldn't, and I'll tell you why. Because I've had so much help learning this. I've messaged that many people. Yeah, if you took that one, you're going to get stopped out. I hope you don't, but I think there's more chance of one of these, actually, of a second entry. I wouldn't be able to charge people because I've had so much help, and no one's ever charged me for it, apart from Mac, but even that was only $125, but I mean, the only thing I do is put the evaluation thing, but it doesn't cost you anything more, so I wouldn't have the art to charge people, not after all the help I've had. so many people have helped me. I hope this pushes further because it's a bit congested now, but I'd say that's going to get stopped out for sure. I hope it doesn't if there's anybody in there. Toad, are you in it, are you? I hope you're not, mate. That's two perfect legs down to me, so this
Order
is an
submitted.
opportunity if it sits right. The only downside is it's 12 ticks. Push up, maybe next time. Okay, maybe the next one. If we push below there, I'm happy with that. But it needs to push below, otherwise it's no setup. I don't think it's going to. I know the gorilla trader again would probably likely jump in here. The frustrating thing is if it doesn't set up, it doesn't mean it's not going to work. It just means it's a little bit more risky, but I think he's quite happy taking riskier trades. He'll just maybe drop them in down here and risk a point. And obviously that lowers the risk massively. So of course the track, yeah. He comes over as a nice fella, but you just don't know, do you? Anybody can come over nice. I could even come over nice. But no, I am nice. But no, I couldn't charge anybody. I've had loads of help, and I still have. I chat with people regularly on Facebook and Messenger as well. I get messages from quite a few people helping me out, and I've messaged loads of people. I've had nights where I can't. Luckily for me, I'm in the UK, so if I have a night where I can't sleep at 1 o'clock in the morning, I got something going on in my mind that I can't understand. I got you guys in the US that are still awake. So, I've messaged loads of people. I have, if I couldn't understand a failed second entry, this or that, or if something wasn't working right. That's a second entry long if it comes up. It is a little congested, but I still think it's... see what happens. It's not going to finish right there anyway, I don't think. Kind of hope it doesn't. Let's just
Order cancelled.
Let me just check this chart. It looks good to me. That I can't see any issues with that. I wouldn't even say that was a break. I'm happy to tweak that a touch. In fact, might even be down here now. It's well, no, maybe not. Let's leave it where it was. You could say it's a bit of a spike there. It's certainly fitting along there nice. I got no arguments there. This might be okay. Sorry about that. Sorry about the dogs barking. Let me just get
Order
a buy order
submitted.
in here. It's still a second entry long if it works. I just it's touching on this congestion, see. Let's get this down here a bit. There is some congestion there where I put that line sort of at the bottom of it. In fact, let's move. Oh no, it's also sitting on the top. So if it, trouble is, it's going to get a massive bar now, isn't it, to get up? Looks like 2 legs for me, but by the time that pushes up there, it's going to be double that. I like the way it's bounced off the congestion though, but it's got to push up strong for me, to be honest with you. Oh, that's not strong enough. I'd say it's probably likely going to go higher, but I'd rather wait for a higher low. Let me just see if there's a trap here. Struggle 1, struggle. If that triggers, and there is a trap, it'll come down and stop out the longs. But it hasn't triggered. And if it doesn't, and then does go up, then I may take a higher low. Let's just remove that for
Order cancelled.
I do like the way it's bouncing on top of this, because there's definitely some congestion there. You can see it here. Went up, bounce, went up, bounce. There's definitely congestion. Same again, it finished there, and it closed and finished there. So there's clearly some congestion there, but it's getting down a bit too much for me. Short upper trend. Chad, how you doing, Chad? Coming up. Short off the upper trend. There may be a short. I kind of hope something triggers up here, because if it does trigger, it's a failure. Then if it goes down and goes short, then I'm done with that. That's fine. But if this just might be the break. It looks like a break. I can't see anywhere else that would have. If we call it a spike and channel, fits. Maybe a little bit more like that. But it fits nice. Yeah, okay, that's a break for me, that is. I think it's likely going to go higher. Maybe up to here. Or maybe to the middle of this channel, but it's just doing it slowly. And you got to be so careful here. Excuse me just a second, I just got a quick call. It's okay. Yeah, see, if you took that second entry long, or you left your order there, it's triggered you. I'd say we're likely going higher, but it's just, I think it's a bit risky. It's just congested here. You may have took that one, you may have took that one. Either way, you're in that trade, and it's looking like it's backtracking to me. Maybe not now. Bitcoin breaks $25,000. Might be having another push. I need to get in on this. Hold your horses. Let's have a look. Okay, let's cancel that order. Cancel. Market order. 75,000. There we go. Buy. Superb. I suppose 75,000 Bitcoin. No, I haven't. 75,000 Sate's armor worth about $200. Okay, there we go. There's a new eye. That was a break for me, and I think really after that's sort of bullish, although it's below, and that one's a little bit higher, but it is a bit congested, a little bit dangerous, although I thought it was going to go up. Yeah, it is what it is. I don't mind. I'm happy to leave this stuff. There are times where I might have jumped in there. Luckily, it didn't trigger before it dropped below it, and I'd have made me money. But the trouble is, as soon as I was in that, as soon as I said, there's nothing worse being in a trade and it starts going sideways, it's just frustrating. And it's just too risky getting in there. You may have got in there, or to be honest with you, you may have thought, we're bouncing off this, let's jump in here and risk a point. And that would have been all right if that's what you want to do it. Because it's definitely used this as support, and same here, isn't it? And obviously we can clearly see why, because there's that's used that as support. So there was clearly some in there, and it's pushed up really strong now, look. So I think we're going to come up to, somebody mentioned where the market, nice lower low. Lower low? Lower, higher low, you mean? There's nothing on mine, see? It's just, you may have taken that. It's just risky. I've been in trades like that before, and there's nothing worse than getting in them and getting stuck. It's horrible, because you just feel like you're taking a crap trade, and it just messes with it a little bit. I took that triple test. That one there and there and there. Yeah. I just don't like the way it was. That one was below, and obviously if you took that one, it was sideways. I mean, it was like we were likely we were going to go higher. I think we had a good guess, but you just never know, do you? It could have sort of continued to do that a little bit further, and got down to the middle. You just don't know. I'm on my best behaviour at the moment. Now Bitcoin's soaring today. What's going on? It's over $5,000. Wow. $25,000. Trouble is, when that happens, every man and his dog jumps on it, and then the whales start dumping. But it has been looking quite good for a while, so maybe I've heard a few rumours, people saying we're at the bottom of the bull run. Maybe we've passed the bottom, so I don't know, maybe. So, what are we doing now? Yeah, clear trend that. Clear break. New high. So, what are we doing now then? Oh. It looks like a tail of something. The body, no legs, head, looks like some form of an animal. Maybe a dinosaur or something, I don't know. I get bored, I do puppet animals. So we've had that break and a new high, so maybe this is where the news hit. Yeah. And then we had that bit of a drop. We were coming down anyway, but obviously that may have took it down further than it intended on going. And we're coming back up to where that news hit. So we've that channel's played out. So it could well open up more. It could do. Push up. Who knows? Actually, it looks more like a scorpion, doesn't it? Really? Can't remember what a scorpion head looks like. Big resistance area here. 4133. Here. Excuse me. Yeah, there's some congestion there at the bottom of it, the top of it. So there's definitely an area around here, isn't there? So might come down, bounce off, and push up higher. It's just not very predictable at the moment, is it? Definitely a slower day today. Yesterday was a good day. Monday wasn't a bad day. I think it was Thursday a good day. There were some nice solid setups. And when I say solid, I mean really nice, obvious ones. Trouble is, it's a bit congested and a bit messy here, which is why I left that one, because it's just and if you say triple test, they're in sort of different parts, so it's just so hard, isn't it? I'm just trying to be on my best behaviour and take only the best trades. What have I done? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think I've done 7 winning trades in a row, so I want to try and keep going. 17's my record. But that was definitely, markets were definitely easier then. Okay, all right. Might come down now. They are. This might be that second leg. Down here. Isn't it a shame, really? Made a new high. There wasn't anything. The trouble is, when you go, you just don't know whether it's going to make a new high and continue on. Just because it's made a new high doesn't necessarily mean it's going to come down, does it? Obviously, it did in this case, but there is some support around here. So, but I don't know the way that's come down. I wouldn't be shocked if it had a pull back and then come down some more. Excuse me just for a couple of minutes. I'm just going to take a quick bathroom break. Okay. Let's have a look. Ah, dear me. Yeah. Not playing ball now, is it? Shame that didn't fit nice, actually. That went up a few ticks. I'd have taken that one. Shame. Apart from that tick, that one. Shame there wasn't another one in there. It's just frustrating. Some days you'll just get one after another. You'll get one there, another couple of legs, another there. It's hard to know what's happening here. Potential entry short. Well, I thought that it is looking like it's this. You just don't know though, because it's sort of sideways as well, and sometimes it'll lead you to believe it's doing something like that, and you just get trapped. I've done it so many times. If I'm not sure now, I just try to stay away. It does look like a possible. Well, I wouldn't. The trouble is, let me remove that because that's just confusing things. That's better. It's sort of going sideways. We've had a break in a new high. That's clear. So it could be a second entry long, although I wouldn't take that. It might go higher. It's hard to say. It could be a possible failure going lower, but at the moment it's just going sideways. So everything's just too risky at the moment. Ooh, shorten this now. Yeah, I just don't know at the moment. It could continue to go higher. Maybe sort of expect it to that. You just don't know. I mean, usually you would think if we made a new high and we had those two bars, big strong selling bars, but then bang, it just stopped dead, didn't it? And it closed here. So you got a touch here, closed here, closed here, closed here. So you just don't know. It might correct a bit and then go higher. Well, we thought that was happening down below, didn't we? We thought correct, and then it tanking, and it did the complete opposite. So you just don't know. I mean, this could finally be the beak of the dinosaur. You just don't know, really. Like that. It's just looking right, isn't it? Yeah, see, it could be. If you look at that, all we're missing is like a wing or something. Yeah, everything's too risky at the moment. I found I just wait for those setups that just jump out and wave in front of you. We all know the ones, don't we? And anything else, you just got to leave. Sometimes you get lots of them, you know. Sometimes you'll get 2 or 3 in a row. Other times you might sit there for 3.5 hours and get one. On the odd occasion, you may get none. But I've found I try to adjust things. Yeah, kind of flat though. Yeah, I try to adjust things as I struggle. You know, I find my issues is with taking trades in here. So simple. I just leave alone and wait till we have this nice swing, then a couple of legs back, nice swing, couple of something like that. Although it does look like it's going down, but that looked like we were going down from that, and it didn't. So thinking something, you know what I mean? It's risky. You know, we can all read the chart reasonably well, and we got a pretty good idea where it goes. But when it goes sideways, that's uncertainty, isn't it? And guesses when we're moving up here are a lot more accurate, aren't they? And I've just found I try and forget about money now. I just take one day at a time, one trade at a time. Sit and wait for a good trade, take it. Sit long and wait for a good trade, take it. That's it. If I don't get no trades, I don't force anything. If I get trades, happy days. But I've given up trying to force things because they don't work. The only way this business works is if you sit patiently and wait for a good trade, take it, commit. If it works, great, which it probably will if you're patient enough to sit there. And if it doesn't, then it wasn't to be, or something wasn't right, or maybe you need to learn something else. Possible failure, but I wouldn't want to go long into that slowly tipping down EMA. It's also a possible failure, which is triggered. I doubt you go. Maybe there might be some trap there. Second entry long, which is triggered. It's hard to say, but you can get some traps in here. But it's just too choppy. You're moving your stop, are you, lad? You went short here somewhere, didn't you? Where'd you go short? I hope you're short, because if you are, you might do all right here. Did you take the failure? You probably did, didn't you? You take that failure. It is looking like it's coming down, but that's what I mean. You just don't know. I've done that before, got into trades, think the market looks like it's going, let's get into a short here, comes down, goes up, stops you out. It's just so hard. Fail the verification of being too impatient. Yeah, we've all been there, mate. See what happens now, look, sideways. So it just could do that barbed wire thing where it spikes down, spikes up. And if you're short here or shorts, I'm guessing, risk, yeah, it's just too dangerous here. It might knock everything out here. I've got to say, the more times you fail, though, it does all. It's sort of back. It's like banging your head against the wall again and again. Sooner or later, you realise it bleeds, and you just have to give up. There's no other way. You know, I've had days where there's been an 80% off evaluation, and I've taken through 4 or 5 of them in a day, and just blown them. I've been that frustrated and angry at the market, you know. And the only way it works is just to sit there. Yesterday, I sat there, had 2 lovely trades, really nice ones. Great day. Felt good. There's nothing worse than forcing trades. The way it makes you feel, it's horrible. So I'm coming to the conclusion, you have to play it by the rules fully and wholeheartedly, otherwise it does not work, and it'll never work. You got stopped out. Yeah, that's the trouble, isn't it, mate? I mean, even if you're on an evaluation, or even if you're on micros, or even a demo, it's still bad habit to get into, isn't it? Giving the amount of times I thought I'll give this a go and I'll try a trade, and all you're doing is wasting your time, because there's no point in trying stuff. We're aiming towards being able to trade like a professional trader, where we're sitting patiently. And that's the only way it works. So even trying to trade, even on a demo, I'd still talk people out of trying things. And maybe if you're learning to trade, then yeah. But, you know, sometimes I've been on a demo and go, oh, I'll give this a go, or I'll give that. Oh, you're just feeding yourself false information there, because you're almost guessing. When really the only way to learn this business is to wait for a good setup. I've been guilty of that so many times. And when it fails, you feel like crap. But if everything works nice and you sit and wait patiently and you get those trades, you start to clock up trades without a break, without a loss. I had 17 once. I was really focused for some reason. And then I had days where I was losing 2 out of 3. It's just crazy. It gets in your head. Catastrophic failures. We all have them. We all have them. Yeah, it is frustrating. It's a tough business, and you learn some tough lessons, but valuable lessons. But this stuff, the trouble is, there's that many traps, isn't there? You know, went short there, triggered, stopped him out. He may go short there, might trigger, stop you out. There may be short there. You just don't know. There's so many traps building up in these. Moving my stop, oh God, mate, I don't know how many times. You know what? I've been in evaluations and I've had my stop down here, my order up here. I don't know how many times I've been taken out of evaluations by getting $2,000 down in a trade, because, you know, you lose a couple of trades and you think it's only $33, and you move your stop and you move your stop and you move your stop, and market just, the more you move your stop, your market, it's weird how it works. It just comes towards you. And you know, you think sometimes I'll be better off shutting my eyes and just hitting the buy or sell button. It's weird how it works. But you put yourself through it. I don't know why we do it, but we all do the same. So it's obviously how human beings behave, isn't it? But it's trying to get you out of that automatic response that we all make. Yeah, it's true, bud. You know, we all have this automatic response to when things don't go right, is we sort of lose our temper to a degree, which is the same sort of thing. Emotions get the better of us. I mean, have you ever been in we've all been in a punch up when you were a young lad, haven't you? Some maybe recently. And what do? You know, you go in there, don't you? You put your fists up, don't you? And you start swinging like crazy, and all your plans go out the window. That's emotions. We're not used to dealing with emotions like this on a daily basis, and when we have them on a daily basis, you don't know how to deal with them. I've said for a while, the only way you deal with them, or you learn to deal with them, is just by keep doing it. Nothing else. It's just, for me, all the books I've wrote, I wish, all the books I've read, Nothing's worked. The only thing that's making me better is just time. Experiencing those motions again and again and again, and sooner or later, you get used to them. Yeah, it's so choppy, innit? You'd want to think you'd go long off here, wouldn't you? But you might get a break and a new low. It's quite rejection. Yeah, that's why I started trading, bud. That was because you're less likely to do something stupid. You know, you ever been at work and your boss turns up or somebody, and they, you know, sometimes you get people walking past your work, don't you? And they're looking at you. What do you try and do your job right, don't you? You don't want to make a mistake when people are watching, because it does give you some degree of accountability. So streaming's definitely helped me. That was the catalyst to get me taking things more serious, because I don't think I was taking it serious enough. I thought I was, but I clearly wasn't. No, they can't. You've got to do it. You have to experience those emotions again and again and again until it forces your mind to adapt. And fortunately, if you stick at it for long enough, we all adapt, don't we? You know what I mean? You walk around with bare feet, you're going to get cut to shit, aren't you? But you look at that lot in Africa walking around without your body's got an amazing way of adapting, not just from the physical point of view, from a mental point of view. You can adapt, but it takes time. So I think the answer to the psychological side is no more complicated than time. All the books and all the different, you know, I've tried walking away, taking deep breaths, square breathing. God, I've even tried trading with after a few beers just to try and calm the nerves. I've literally sat here with a couple of double whiskies and knocked them back and thought, if I can be calmer, I'll trade better. Got to say, it was the most relaxing day of trading I've had, but it just don't work because you go the opposite then. But it's just time. That's what it is. That's all it is. That's what I believe anyway. I've even had my missus with me sat next to me. And that didn't work because I just said, just make sure I don't do nothing stupid. But she didn't have a clue what I was doing anyway. So I was just jumping in randomly taking trades, and she thought I was doing a good job. So, no, you do some strange things, I've got to say. Try some strange things. Absolutely, mate. Absolutely. The thing is, I suppose, the way we've got to look at it, you can make an awful lot of money trading, and if it was easy, everyone would be doing it. And I kind of like the fact that, and I've mentioned this before, that there's a certain family member of mine that has commented, well, what makes you think you can be a trader? What, you know what I mean? So I look forward to rubbing people's nose in it, I do, because I'm one of the type of people, I don't give up. If I get a bee in my bonnet and I get me mind focused on something, I will move heaven and earth to get it. And I can't wait to rub someone's nose in it, turn up in a nice fancy car, and rub their nose in it. So that spurs me on, that does. What's that? CD? Is that cannabis oil, is it? Yeah, I've got a trader mate who's taking beta blockers. He's in the I won't tell you his name because obviously it's a personal thing, but he messaged me and he said, I've got the doctor to prescribe some beta blockers slow his heart rate down. Oh, people will result to medication, drugs and all sorts, won't they? Oh, Bennett. I'm definitely feeling better. It's affecting me less. See, that's looking like a failure, isn't it? And I dare say there's probably some longs there. So I think if we can push down a bit, I think we're going to drop quickly. But it helps, yeah. I got a guy who just to chill himself out at the end of the day will take mushrooms just to chill. I won't tell you his name because he's a mate and it's obviously personal, but yeah, he'll just lay in his bed and space himself out on mushrooms trying to chill himself out. People do some crazy things to be a trader, I've got to say. Yeah, I can't wait to do that. You know, I can't wait to tell someone I've earned $10,000 in a month or something like that, or more actually, because I see the shock on their face and their typical response is, "Show me how to do it." Yeah, right. Go on then. Here we go. Just do this and this, and you're in. I used to do microdosing mushrooms. No way before. The bit that worried me when I had a couple of whiskies, you don't know if it's going to work, because if it works, you're buggered, because you're going to be going through bottles of the stuff. The trouble is, it's finding that balance. Mind you, if you look at fighter pilots, don't they send them on speed or something, don't they, just to keep their mind and focused? Or can you imagine trading on speed? Christ almighty, that mouse would be clicking like crazy. Oh, got some movement finally. You just don't know what will work. The trouble is, getting on something like that to try and help you to trade. The downside is, if it works, you can't trade. You can't trade normal then, can you? You've got to be spaced out every time you trade. You think it's easy, yeah, absolutely, yeah. I think after you've been trading a while, you can just look at a person or a friend or a family member and think, there's no way on God's earth they could be a trader, because you know what they're like with money, or they might have a bit of a gambling thing, or they might be as tight as an arsehole. You know what I mean? Yeah, you can just tell with some people, because you know how difficult it is, and we're not fully there yet. You can just tell by some people, can't you? Just some people, and you just think, no, there's no way they could learn. Yeah, this is by far. I mean, I've done a lot of things in my 53 years. I've tried everything, job-wise. Crikey, I've been a bricklayer. I've been a chef. I have done everything. I've skydived, scuba dived. I love doing things, new things, and I've tried lots of things. And this is by a mile the toughest thing I've ever had to learn, just purely from the psychological side of it. It's a melt. It absolutely screws your mind up at times. I've been upstairs, literally on my bed with my hands on my head, like I'm having a meltdown. It can be horrible sometimes, and when you're throwing money away and more money away and more money away, and you're thinking about, oh crikey, how am I going to tell me missus? You know what I mean? It's horrible. But fortunately, I seem to keep coming back for more. Wolf of Wall Street suggests cocaine. It does. I like that film. That's a good film, that is. That's a great film, that. I have a friend on crack. Oh dear. God, no wonder some of these financial guys go heavy on drugs. You need it to keep yourself sane, don't you? Oh, where you come from? Where do I go? I've dived in Kenya, off the Kenyan coast. Couple of places in Turkey, Mallorca, and I've been a few times in the UK. There's a place in the UK called Stony Cove, which is like an old mine, not an old mine, an old pit. It's about 30 meters in the middle, and I've dived around there, but I've not done a massive amount of it. But I've tried everything. I've literally done everything. I'm one of those type of people. I want to learn stuff. I want to experience things, but I don't like doing the same thing day in, day out. But now you only live once, don't you? There's some movement coming on now. You only live once, so you might as well experience as much as you can. Red Sea's the place, so if you do dive. I was in a club in Cannock in the UK. You got my license last year. Oh, did you? So you PADI, are you? Because I know we got PADI and BSAC, British Scuba. So it's probably PADI, I think you over in the UK, aren't you? In the US. But I know a lot of the club guys from here go over to the Red Sea because I think there's only about an hour or two difference, so you get sort of tropical climates almost. And it's a very popular place, the Red Sea. It's probably far out of a lot of yours. Did you really? Oh dear. Come up too quick, did you? Yeah. I got to say, I did a bit of skydiving when I was younger, and I didn't realise that skydiving is way safer than scuba diving. Bad choice, yeah. Usually, I know a lot of people, a lot of new people, it's sort of panicking, isn't it, coming up too quick. But yeah, you got to be on the ball, haven't you? Got to say, I remember when I did my when I was learning to dive, we were in Stony Cove and I was down at about 12 meters and we had to take a mask off. Sort of practice, because sometimes you lose your mask or you get it knocked off. And I put my mask on my face, and as I pushed it to my face, I pushed the water up my nose, went down my throat, and I started coughing and spluttering and panicking like shit. But if you do start coughing and spluttering, you just got to keep your regulator in and just get it out, haven't you? But, you know, coughing and choking when you're on dry land's not too bad, but underwater you can panic about it. Decompression, yeah, come up too quick, can't you? I know there was a guy I used to one of my instructors, I think he used to do it with his wife, and his wife had it bad, came up from a big depth quick, and they had to chop her to, I think it was Liverpool, to a hyperbaric chamber. So yeah, you got to be careful, haven't you? You can't just come up, can you? You'll burst your lungs. It helps being quite a calm person as well, doesn't it? You want to have a go? Best thing to do is do a tandem. I've been a few times. They've got they're starting to have some of those wind tunnels now pop up in the UK, and there was one I went a few times in Manchester. That's quite fun. But if you want to experience it, then just do a tandem. You'll get about 50 seconds free fall from 12,000 feet, something like that. US would be a great place to do it. You got the weather over there. Over here, weather can be a little bit unpredictable. But that's a bit of fun. That is to take a bit of nerve. I don't know if I had the nerve to do it now. But I just wanted to experience lots of things I did. You're only here once, aren't you? You might as well try a bit of everything. I'm sure I heard Max saying it corrects for around about an hour. Does that ring any bells with anyone, does it? So where are we on here? 3:45. Coming up 4:45. So that's about an hour. I remember on one of his videos, I'm sure he said it corrects for about an hour. So we've had that push up and we've got a correction. So maybe we're going to go a bit higher, or maybe we're not. It's just so hard to tell at the moment. It's not. It's quite a messy old day, really, isn't it? We may push up, do a bit of sideways, and we may push up higher, but just don't know. Yeah, it's just a shame there wasn't a better offer in there or there, actually. I have often considered maybe jumping in something there. I mean, on mine, it's obviously got some green, but if you take that up another tick or two higher, it'd look like a good trade then, see? So maybe, because obviously our charts can differ a tiny touch. So maybe on your chart or someone else's chart, that might be a little more bullish, because for me, it was clear two legs. And look what it finished, right bang on there. So even it still may have been okay to go, but it obviously pushed up, so someone got in there. So tend to lose on there. We certainly do, mate. Yeah. I did stuff that I wouldn't dream of doing now. I just haven't got. Yeah, you do get a bit. You start to think about, you know, when you're younger, you've got nothing really scares you much. Nothing scared me much apart from spiders. That's about it. But as you get older, yeah, you do get a little bit more careful, don't you? You realise you're getting older quicker and time's slowly starting to run out. Kids, absolutely, yeah. I got a 14-year-old daughter. Yeah, there wasn't much I was scared of before she was born, and that put a big chink on my armour, I got to say. You think you worry about your parents, you know, your brother or your sisters and that, but when it comes to your kids, nothing quite matches how much you worry about them. Yeah, that's scary, isn't it? That is. There is a second entry long here. When we've come back, we've pushed up. Same again there. I just prefer it to be a little bit lower. I'm trying to give up on these at the moment. I prefer it down here a little bit more. And I would say I am probably forcing that if I take that, because you just don't know. It might trigger you and come back and stop you out. So I'm going to leave that go. It's 10 ticks, so it's 3 points, isn't it? Up and down. It's off the bottom, so I think it's probably more likely to go than not, but I just prefer it to be a little bit lower. Yeah, agreed. I prefer it to maybe come down here or something, and then, but I mean, even something like that still came back a few times, didn't it? It still made your arse twitch a bit. Typical though, as soon as you leave it, it goes, doesn't it? So you think next time, I'll have a go at it, and as soon as you jump in, it's like the world changes, doesn't it? When you start putting money into something, things just don't go well, do they? I'm quite happy sitting watching anyway. I don't mind. It makes you feel good if your patience are working nice. Typical now, that goes off like a rocket. Your patience are working nice. I'm quite happy to not have a trade. I want to have a trade, of course, but if I don't, I've done my job right. It means I haven't tried to force something. So I don't mind not doing a trade in the day. I think it shows that you've got some pretty good patience if you can sit here for 3.5 hours and not take a trade. Especially if you've been smoking stuff or on mushrooms. You took 2.5 points, did you? Good on you, mate. You got a triple test second entry long. Yeah, it was a second entry long. I think the only thing that put me off it is it was just a little bit too far off its bottom for me. I've had some losses. I think I would say 80% of my losses are off the bottoms and tops. If it came down and ended up something like that, then I would do it, because obviously it's holding prices. But I just, you know, when you just think the sensible thing would be to do just to leave that. And I kind of feel good about leaving it, because you know, you feel like you're using some self-control, because I've got to say, sometimes you can feel like you're way out of control, can't you? Mark can reverse too. Yeah, you just don't know. I think part of the struggle with trading is lack of self-control, and it's not a nice feeling to know you're not in control, because you do feel sometimes like you're being controlled by the market. It's controlling me, not the other way around. So I kind of like the fact that I can leave it, because it makes me feel like, okay, yeah, then maybe I have got some control. Because it's a horrible feeling, isn't it, when you get sucked in? You don't want to do it, but it's almost like somebody takes over. And it's not a nice feeling. So you need to, I think it's important to leave trades if they're not right. And when you do that, you do get that little sense of a little tiny bit of an achievement feeling. And not only that, if you do go long there and it's slightly risky and it works, it sort of gives you sort of a false sense of security then, doesn't it? You think, okay, next one, I'll take it off there. And I keep reminding myself that I only really need 1 or 2 trades a day. And if I'm trading for 3.5 hours, it's not a lot. There's plenty of time to find a trade, but sometimes you feel like you've got to rush into it. You know, I've got to get something quick when you haven't really. I'm just going to take a quick few minute break and make myself a coffee. I'll be back in a few minutes. Okay. Oh, well, yeah, it went up. Trouble is, you don't know who's going to do that, do you? So. Mac still trades, I believe he still just goes for 1 point, and he'll go for a runner as well, whereas I think the Gorilla goes for a minimum, I think, of 5 or 6 points, I think. Oh, I missed something about measured move there. Oh. Anything about move up here? Yeah, I don't tend to do them so much here. If it goes from top to bottom, it's usually the measured move, isn't it? If you go from here to here, a little bit higher, a little bit higher. I do put them on all the time, but I just, after we've used them, I just delete them just to save. Market is designed to get to targets. Yeah. Yeah, it's surprising, isn't it? Measured moves, it really is. And the more I think you get into measured moves, you really know where the turning points is. I think I went from here to here, and then it came back. Yeah. I think the Gorilla guy takes a lot of his trades based on measured moves. For instance, this one here, see that one there? Measured move back to the EMA. You would think that 99 times will go up, but we don't take it because the bar wasn't fantastic. But look what happened, it rocketed up where you'd expect it. So I know the Gorilla guy will just drop in maybe a limit order down here and just try and catch it, and then, but see, we're told to avoid trades like that because the signal bar is, but look at that, 2 perfect moves back, 2 perfect measured moves back, right to the key entry point. I mean, it even closed above the EMA, so on someone else's chart, a tick or 2 higher would have been an okay. So maybe it's still worth taking trades like that. Who knows? It's not a massive bar. What is it, 2 and a bit points? Look perfectly, yeah. That's the trouble, isn't it? You can move, adjust, try different things. It's just so hard to say. I think with experience, trades like that, they just don't seem to fail. I looked at it and I thought, I prefer a better bar, and I left it. But maybe I should have just took a chance. Because let's face it, what's likely to happen? Especially after 2 perfect measured moves. I took the trade because it looked like, yeah. I mean, the trouble is our bars can look slightly different. And if that goes a tick higher, there all of a sudden you're interested then, aren't you? And if it goes a tick higher still, that's a massive jump straight in on that. See, so perhaps we've pushed down and we've pushed up, but we have closed right above this. So perhaps that was still a decent trade. Well, it's certainly a lot of buy orders jumped in there. No sell orders straight away. No one's thinking about selling that, are they? That's only buyers. Look at that, finished on its high, right up, finished on its high. Once it broke this high, then it eased back a bit for a pullback, didn't it? So perhaps with experience, I mean, if you look at that, the pullback and where it finished is perfect, absolutely perfect. 2 perfect measured legs. The only thing that puts maybe us less experienced traders off is the fact that could have done with being better, but it still worked. So I don't know, maybe next time I might have a go at that. Maybe put an order up here or something. See if it can catch something maybe. Okay, so lower high, so maybe we can catch a failure here. We'll see. The only thing is the market does look like it's slowly going up to me, but maybe not. Maybe not. Yeah, I don't blame you for taking that trade, mate. Oh. It looked perfect on here, apart from a tick or two higher. If that was a tick higher, that would have been, your mind would have reacted differently. And another tick higher, perfect. So, I don't know. The thing is that candle then changed after 2,000 trades. So, if you look at the next trade straight up, so perhaps if it had been a 2,500 tick, that would have finished bullish. So, who knows? Okay, second entry long triggered. I'm going to put a sell order here.
Order submitted.
If I'm quick enough. Yeah. And take that and then engulfing I am, because that's the second entry long. See if it triggers. We've had a break. New high. We've had a breakout. Try to go once, try to go twice. That's a second entry long. Which is triggered. So if it comes down here and triggers out the stops, then I expect it to come down then. If it goes higher than that, I'll cancel it. And if it goes sideways another bar, I'll do that as well. But there is a second entry long above the EMA.
Order filled.
Okay, so that's triggered. So let's see if we can get something out of this.
Stop filled.
Okay, that didn't work. Oh well. What are we down to? It wasn't too bad actually. I don't mind that. Okay. It was a failure. I thought we'd have some longs possibly in there, so I'm alright with that. That's fine. I didn't think it was. I thought it was an okay trade, which is why I took it there. So that was a loss. Okay, I didn't think I was forcing it. I thought it was an okay trade. We're pushing up and down. We've had a bit of a breakout. Most breakouts fail. It came back in. It is what it is. It was a failure. There was a second entry long there. I thought there'd be some longs in there. We're cleared in the range. I didn't take the lower high. I took the failure. I'm okay with that because I didn't think the trade was that bad actually. That's another failure, isn't it? See, I didn't think it was that bad. There's not a huge amount. There's a little bit, but I thought it was all right. going to end up coming down anyway, I think. So even taking that one, you've still got the same thing, all the congestion around the midline. Do you know what I mean? But it still went up. So I thought the failure. Well, I think what teased me into it is the fact that it was a second entry long, which triggered. It was one tick off a perfect bar. So I thought if I go short here, it's coming down. Yeah, there's often a bit of congestion around the middle. There was there and there was here, but that still pushed up and went rocketed up. But it is still going from top to bottom, isn't it? So that might be the failure. See, it didn't really feel like a sideways action. There it was, but then we pushed down then, see? And the bit that got me into it was the second entry long. After this push up, I'm thinking maybe people are thinking we're coming out and pushing up here. That's what went into it. That's why I put my stop below it. And look, we're coming down in the end anyway. Look. Slightly congested, but then it broke lower. And that broke lower and then popped back. So I thought that was all right. Oh, I got you. Okay. Yeah, I'm all right with it because I thought it was a good trade. I thought it was okay. If I take trades that I'm losing my patience and I think, oh, you know, jump in a bit, they're the ones that mess with me. If I think it was a trade, I mean, it was a failure. The bit that took me in, though, is because I thought there'd be some longs there, and which is why I put my order below. I'd have preferred that a bit lower, but it is. I thought with an overshoot as well, I think we were likely going to come back here. It's what it is, isn't it? Second entries, yeah. I think he takes fairlies as well, doesn't he? You can't beat second entries, I've got to say. Yeah, you just don't know, do you? Yeah, it looked all right to me. Same trade. That was all right. Yeah, I thought it was okay. We sort of pushed up on a break. I think it was the breakout and the second entry long that got me into it as more as of a trap. And there is some congestion, but you know, there was a bit here, but then we dropped down and pulled back. So I thought it was okay. Sometimes they'll work, sometimes they won't. I thought that would have done because of the trap. But I mean, it is going from top to bottom, isn't it? So you know, you come up here, especially with the overshoot, you'd think we're coming down, and sod's bloody law, we're going to rack out the bottom now. If we can get another push up here, maybe. Second entry short. Short-term trend channel, second entry short. I'd expect to come out the bottom here. You've just got to go from some you win, some you lose. I think you'll probably win more of those. The good thing is it wasn't a massive bar. Yeah, it wasn't a massive bar, so it was, what is it, 2 3/4 points. So it wasn't a huge risk. I think you probably win more of those than lose more of them, and I would have come down here at least 1-1. I'd have had my order down here somewhere, my take profits out. I don't think it was terrible. I'd have preferred it to be a little bit more bearish, but it is what it is sometimes, isn't it? can't see any form of a trend either. Possibly there, but it's just hard to tell, isn't it? You can make up a trend of so many different ways, can't you? I suppose it is, in fairness, isn't it? Touch there, touch there, touch there, touch there. We've had a break. The thing is, if we had the short trend chart break, you'd expect a new low, wouldn't you? I think it's more likely we're still ranging at the moment. And after this overshoot, I'll expect a new low. Possible second entry short. Depends where it finishes, really. Let's get an order ready, see where it
Order
finishes.
submitted.
Short-term trend channel. We've had a trend channel, we've had a break. 2 legs up. See if this comes down. See where this finishes. Channel, break, 2 legs up.
Order cancelled.
Ah, dear. What to do? What to do? See how it finishes here. Maybe a second entry short off here. Just wondering, there's going to be some shorts in there, isn't there? Could be a couple of legs up, that's the thing. You just don't know.
Order submitted.
See what happens here. Actually,
Order cancelled.
I'm going to wait for that to trigger and give us a lower high, because we could end up getting trapped here otherwise.
Order
See
submitted.
what happens first. So maybe we'll have this channel and a break. 2 legs up. Just don't know. It does seem to me like it's moving up.
Order cancelled.
Yeah, we've had a trend, but it's bounced off the midline, so I don't know. I'm not convinced about this. I like where it's finished. Let's get
Order
ready, see what it
submitted.
does. Yeah. Also, there's a failure there which is triggered. It's just hard to say at the moment. It's just sideways and congested, isn't it? There's a failure, quite bullish. It's triggered. May come down. I don't know. But it's a lower high. See what happens.
Order filled.
Okay, I think that's okay. I think there's probably going to be some longs in here. Second entry short. It's triggered, pulled back a little bit, but then came south. So I think if we can get below here and here, something I don't like about it. Okay. Okay, I'm happy to take what I've got. I think if we can get below here, we might have a push down. I've had an overshoot here, so I'm just wondering whether that I might just give it a little bit more room to breathe. Hopefully there'll be some longs in there going to get trapped, so that might give it a little bit more momentum. I'm going to leave that there now. We need to get below here. We could get a decent push down here. A little bit lower, go on. Push. Come on. A bit more. Up some of those longs, come on. One leg, we could get another leg down here. We'll see. giving it a little bit more room to breathe because we might get a decent push here. And we might get shafted. Down.
Stop filled.
Okay, that's all right. That was okay. Let's have a look. Okay, so what I'm seeing is a short-term trend channel. We had 2 pushes up. I think I waited for it to push down again and got in. But I think it might come quite a bit more down here. There's going to be some stops down here. I just want it to try and take as much as I can. Sometimes they can seem... I wouldn't be surprised if we had 2 legs down here. See if we end up getting down there. If we can break below it, yeah. It is frustrating sometimes, but I came out at the bottom, which is where I wanted to come out. I ended up getting me about 500 something, I don't know. I kind of hope it rockets up now. Well, I mean, I took that one, yeah. Maybe if it had been a better signal bar, I think though that will work more than 50% of the time. I'd say it's a failure. We've come to the top. When you have an overshoot, you expect the same in the other way. So we pushed up there, and I thought after that one, that'll be it. And I thought it was okay, but it is what it is. But then we had a short. There's a trend channel down here, no doubt to me. And then we had a break, 2 pushes up, big bearish bar, finished on its low. Yeah, it came back and touched a couple of times. It doesn't mean it's a bad trade. It often does that. And I took it down here just to be on the safe side. And we had an overshoot here and the same here. And I came out down the bottom, so let's have a wee look. Yeah, what did I get out of that? 3, 5 and a quarter. That's all right. That's covered me loss and got me up 5 and a quarter. I thought it may, if it gets through some of these, it may go a bit lower. That's why I put that first leg in. But I came out of the right place. Didn't want to be too greedy. I'm just thinking about that one. I mean, let's just analyse that one first. We're clearly in a trend, aren't we? But sorry, we're clearly in a range. We're clearly going from tops to bottoms. Now, I've heard Max say many times, fade the breakouts. Generally in the way of the trend. Well, it's hard to know exactly what it's doing at the moment, isn't it? We may have this one leg down and this correction and a pullback, and this may end up going for another leg. So it's hard to say at the moment. So I'd say it's neutral where you fade. So I thought... We've had a push up here, we've had a break and a new high, couple legs up to a new high, and we've overshot. We've made a breakout, and you usually fail the breakout. Now I'm thinking straight away, we've had an overshoot here, usually we'll get something here, and we did. Now I thought the failure, then especially with the second entry long, will take it down quite quick. But obviously it wasn't meant to be, was it? Sometimes it doesn't work. But then we have this trend working down, and we have a break. Not only do we have a break, we have a second entry short. 2 clear legs up and a short. Yeah, it came back a bit. And just to be on the safe side, because I was already down, I waited for that one to come bearish. And I jumped in here, which I think was the better option. And then it came down. So some people can perceive these things as different than they are. Do you know what I mean? It was a failure. Would I take that again? Yeah, I think I would, because I think most of the time that'd work. And because we've had the overshoot, it wasn't a massive bar, and I expected to come down. So I'd have got at least 1-to-1 more like, sorry, what was that? So it's 2 1/4 bars. So you have a great try. You done, are you, Joel? Take it easy, bud. I think it was okay. I thought it might shoot out the bottom bit, but I took it about, what was that, about a point or so just from where the lows were. But I expected it to come down, especially here I did, but then we obviously had a couple of legs up, hit the top again. I mean, that closed perfectly right at the top. And yeah, it came back a touch more, but down it went. So at least I actually... Well, oh, the fuck am I doing? Sorry. I'll sort that out in a minute anyway, but at least I'm up a bit anyway, so see, now I wouldn't think of shorting that because that's just a strong push up, but you just don't know at the moment. This might be a push up. But yeah, will I take that again? I don't think it was a terrible trade. We did have a bit of congestion here, but then we pushed below it. And ideally, in an ideal world, it did break a tiny bit below it, but I'd have preferred it down here. But would I have taken that normally? Probably. What forced me to take it was the second entry long. I thought there'd be some longs in there. Push up, sideways, push up again. Especially after it was congested at the top. Usually, when we get to the bottom, we push up. When we get to the top, we push down, but it went congested. So I thought it may come back and trap a few longs. So, but it is what it is anyway. At least we got our money anyway. So second entry short. I took the lower high, didn't I? So let's put that in there. So we got, this might be maybe the start of a, it's hard to say at the moment, but we've had that overshoot, and same here. Yeah. Where are we? What have I missed? Yeah, you say you get out the midline, especially after this. I'm thinking if we can get down below here, especially after the breakout, I expected it to break out a touch here. That's the trouble, really. It's knowing when to get out, isn't it? Hindsight's a wonderful thing, because we've been coming up and down, especially after we've made two legs up and then we came down quite sharpish there. I thought it was worth running it down a bit, because at least that way I've had one loss and one win, and I'm $200 odd up. So sometimes it's worth it a bit, isn't it? I am definitely starting to realise in these moves go for a lot more than you bargain for. So Taylor took that trade. That one there, did he? This one. Yeah, see, I thought that was okay, but just because I'd one loss. What are you on about this one? I'll have a look at Taylor later. Hopefully he'll post it. How do you know has he posted it? Or are you part of his... Oh, he's got a group, isn't he? Yeah, I've got to say I like Taylor. Anybody who's taking more than 2 points, I think I like what he's doing. He gives me the... In fact, Taylor was the one that got me from 2 points to 1-1. Because if it's a good, solid trade, they always move. They always get the points. Thanks, Jonathan. Yeah, it's nice to have a little bit of praise. Can everyone put me little love hearts and say, so I've done really well? Well, especially after you've lost one, the worst thing to do is to lose two. But but yeah, it's hard to say with that one, isn't it? I'd have probably taken it again because of the overshoot, and I'm expecting it to come down. But sometimes it's not meant to be, is it? Sometimes things just happen. It's not. Yeah. I mean, obvious trades. I mean, if that had been a beautiful signal bar, second entry long, then I'd say that I'd been in a 9.5 out of 10, near on the perfect trade. That one maybe a 7. Something like that, maybe a 6. I think that'd work 60-70% of the time, I'd say. And there is congestion in the middle, but it is what it is, isn't it? Oh, man, I feel good now. Cheers, guys. Oh, you know what? You say all the right things, don't you? I don't know. I got to say, when let's have a look. Let's put that back. When I've had a bad day, I do listen. If you've never listened to some of these trader affirmations, they're quite good to listen to. They give you a bit of a lift, because we've all had those days, haven't we, where we feel hard to get our head back in the game. And yeah, I like the trader affirmations. They tell you that you're an amazing trader, you're the most patient God in the world, and all that stuff. And it does help, actually. I highly recommend that. If you're bored at night, put one of them in your ears. So, okay, so where are we? What time are we now? Okay, it's up. We can go for a bit longer. That was there, wasn't it? That was there. We took the lower high. Wasn't the best bar, but I just liked it after we'd gone for that one. So, okay, push up, break. So if we get 2 legs down, I don't know how confident I am going along there, but chop chop, yeah, there's a bit, isn't it? See, normally these short-term trend channels, the more I trade, the more I realise how reliable they are. So I expect 2 pushes down and a new high. I keep thinking we're going to move towards where the news was and we had a tank. Now, I don't know whether that'll make a difference, but I always like to put these little areas in where I think things are going to stall, and they usually work. Now, support and resistance lines are a big part of trading in general, not so much with scalping because it's a little bit too quick, but when I was trading currency, it was everything about that. First thing we do in the morning, we change this to like a line chart and we put in our support and resistance lines, and we'd have maybe a dozen of them, so they do play a part. So I always like to know where it might stall. I gotta quit whilst I'm a little head. Absolutely, mate. It's always nice to go home on a green day, isn't it? Yeah, good for you, mate. Well done, Toad. Hope everyone's done well today and got some green. Not the nights, especially if you, as long as you're not on the demo, the nights on evaluations and PA accounts or live accounts are so much more relaxing when you're on the green, and I always like to finish on green if I can. But what I must do from now is if I have 2 losses in any one session, that's it. I've got to walk away because something's not right. See, I would have said I see so many patterns when we have a push up like this. We have a sort of correction and a push up again. So I'm thinking we do seem to be slowly pointing up, don't we? But and the reason I was asking, in case we got a second entry long off here. But I wouldn't want to take in any silly risks. Now I've managed to claw back. That's the good thing about taking more than 2 points or 1-to-1. A winning trade has now put me up by, well, it would have been $250 minus fees. So that's the beauty about going for a little more points. Fix expiration days tend to be choppy. What's that? Fix expiration days. Oh, where are we now? Oh, we're moving over to the. Are we moving over to what's it soon? We are, aren't we? We'll have a rollover. I usually get a message about it. Oh, it's not for a while yet, is it? It's another week or 2. Yeah, they're really reliable, these are, so I always expect. We had one down there, and we had a break and a new low, push up here, break, sort of 2 legs, and a new high. They're really reliable, them. And if you can get into a trade and it starts to go, I like that because I know I can keep riding it up, and then when it has a break, I've got a good idea where it's going to finish higher than. So it's useful to get your profits if we could push higher here. Yeah, we sort of had one there, didn't we? Oh, bloody Christ, I wasn't expecting that. Yeah, we had one there, see. And a break and a new low. I wasn't expecting that, lads. That's where that market is. It's quite uncanny, that, isn't it? The market did the same, but down exactly the same place. Well, slightly higher. No, tell a lie, it didn't. That's where the market spiked down, and that's where the market spiked up. Well, I suppose a little bit there, but it does seem to be going like that, doesn't it? Yeah, that's what I was on about. Are we likely to go up, or whether I was going to think about taking a second entry long if it came down here. The trouble is, it's a little bit sideways and it's a bit far away from the EMA, so you just, although it is bouncing on that top line, so maybe an experienced trader might have got in that, but we've been ranging, haven't we? So it's just hard to say, but. Oh, you took it, did you? Oh, good on you, mate. Good on you. Yeah. Well, you certainly think we're going to make a new high, wouldn't you? And there's certainly a couple of points in there, isn't there? And you think then it's likely to touch here, and yeah, it's gone above, isn't it? We may have a pullback and push higher. It's just hard to say, isn't it? Let's just mark my stuff up. That seems really small for some reason. So I've got the mic in front of me. I can't see what I'm doing really. Right, guys, that is probably it for me for the day. I'll mark my chart up and post it later. It's been nice trading with you guys again. We've ended nice on the green, so that's all good. So I hope you guys have done well and had a solid day. It's a bit of a weird day, isn't it, today? It's been quite nice the last few days. There's been a lot. See, if you look at this, a lot of this is, there's been a few swings, but excuse me, there's a lot of congestion here. And same here. Typically, push sideways, push sideways. But it's not been a bad day. It's nice to end up green. I think I've found my equilibrium a bit. Sometimes you need a bit of time off and just maybe to get back to basics a bit. So where are we? Friday tomorrow. So I'll be here again from around just before 2:30 UK time. It's just 10 minutes before the market opens, something like that. So what was I gonna say? I can't remember now. It obviously wasn't important. So yeah, guys, appreciate you hooking up with me. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Osam. So yeah, thanks everybody, and thanks for all the love hearts and that, and the little smiley faces. I feel so much more relaxed now. I'm gonna have a good night tonight. So yeah, I appreciate you hooking up for me. If you're in the market for an evaluation, I got a code on here. If you want to use it, it's up to you. It doesn't cost you anything more, but we're on 50% at the moment. But if you're not desperate for one, I would say we tend to have the 80% off probably monthly now. I'd say and I know how much my affiliate link shoots up when we have the 80%. So I don't think they sell a massive amount of these. To be fair, now, and that's the trouble when you give away such good deals as 80 and 90%. Not many people buy the 50% off. But if you're on the market, I got a code there. If you use it, happy days. And if you're not subscribed to the channel, I appreciate you subscribing. Makes me look good in front of my wife. She thinks I'm a success at something finally. And I'm going to start doing, I can't figure out how to put timestamps in the bottom just so people can go to the trades. I can do it if we're up to 99 minutes. That's pretty straightforward, but obviously these streams tend to last a lot longer. So what I might have to do is just edit this and just, make a 5-minute video, a little bit of chit chat, and then just showing the trades, or figure something out just to make it easy for people who haven't got the time to watch them all, because it's nice to see other people make an idiot of themselves. So I'm quite happily a donor. But no, it's nice to trade with a bunch of other guys. Kids, oh, look at that! That looks amazing. I'll take a photo of that. I feel loved. But no, it's been nice trading with you guys. We have the same regular faces every day, and I'm starting to get to know you guys now. And we're all in this ship together, aren't we? Oh, I was going to say sinking ship together. But now we've all got the same hopes and dreams, haven't we? And we've all had the same pain and suffering as well. So have a great evening, guys, and I will catch up with you all usual time tomorrow.